Hi, it's Cassie Olberg from Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, and I am going to talk to you about the use of one of my favorite tools. Yesterday we talked about the trimmer, but today we are going to talk about something a little fancier called the border maker system. So let's just bring this on screen and talk a little bit. So the border maker system is a wonderful system. We used it a little bit yesterday on our page, but I promised you I would come back and teach you how to use it. And then at the end, we're going to go over a fun technique with it. So the way that this amazing product works is that it has little notches right here. These little bumps come out, and they line up with these little spots on the bottom of our system. So that's what makes it work, in case that helps you to understand how to use it. And when you pop it in, you can't have your finger over this. Push the button to come out. You can't have your finger here because this pops up when it goes in. So I've watched people try to get it in before, and that has hindered them. So I just want to make sure that you understand that. There's also two types of border maker cartridges that you can use. This one has a solid line, and that shows that it stays attached. And that's what we're going to use today. We're going to talk about border maker cartridges that stay attached. Tomorrow, we're going to go over this kind, where it has the design going all the way. And these are border maker cartridges that fall off. So that will be tomorrow, and we're going to do something really cool with that. But today, we're going to talk about things that stay attached. And the reason that we're going to do that is because I'm going to show you some fun things that you can do when they do that. So the first thing that you do with the system is pick your cartridge that you're going to use and pop it in. Okay, then you choose the paper you're going to use. And this is important. I really think that it's great to know how things work in order to make it easier to use. So it has a little flip that comes up. So this just comes up, and this is just to line it up. And I'll show you what I mean. You lift up this. There is a magnet in here that helps hold your paper, and you slide your paper in, and then it locks down. Now your paper is lined up, so you can move this out of the way. It's always good to take a piece of paper or cardstock or something to collect your scraps on, because otherwise you're going to have little pieces flying all over the place. So this is just a backing sheet from a pack of pages, and now I'm going to put this in. Now remember, I said it lines up underneath, but also, I've watched people try to bring it over here, and it lines up right to the edge. So that should help you get it perfect every time and not have to wonder where that edge is. Hi, Gwen. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so now these two are going to line up here. This is lined up with the edge, and you punch. And then this is going to come into play more importantly tomorrow. It's not so much of a problem with ones that stay attached, but you like to pull it off, over, on, off, over, on. And when you do that, you don't have to risk pulling this piece of paper and ripping. And what's really nice is this gives you a really nice 1/8 of an inch little strip that you can use somewhere on a page. We'll do something with that some other time, not today. Today, we're going to just go over the basics of this and how to make something fun like this. Okay, so at this point, this is still attached, and we want to make a border on both sides on this particular one. Sometimes you're going to cut this off, and you're just going to use the singular border, but on today's lesson, we're going to talk about how to do this look where it mirrors each other on both sides. So this sometimes takes a little bit of playing, or if you are good with math, you can measure. So you can measure and see that from here to here is about 3/4 of an inch plus another 3/4 of an inch. So if you want to have down the middle a section, then you need it to be somewhere between 2/4 and 2 1/4 and 2.5 inches in order to have room to put something fun down the middle. So I am going to cut this at 2 1/4 inches. I just want to put a small border down the center of it. So we're going to bring this over, and we're going to put the tips of our citrus. Now, you wouldn't really think of this as citrus whenever you're looking at this border. It's just fun in the sun. But it's actually a orange or a lemon slice. But you don't have to think of it that way. It's just a pretty design. Okay, some people do this technique using sticky notes. I've seen all kinds of fun things done. My way of doing this is to simply use repositionable tape, because I am the type of person who is going to lose whatever I had with special tools laying around. I'm going to lose it. So instead, I use a little bit of repositionable tape down whatever I happen to be using. And then this is important. You want it to be straight. So for me, I'm going to line it up right here along this end of the border. And that way I have it straight all the way up and down. So it's the same spot up there, same spot down here, and then just tape it down. And that's repositionable, so it's going to come back up pretty quick and easy. Now I come back over to my border maker system. I lift this up and I take the whole piece and place it back in. Then I use the magnet to lock it down, and I move this out of the way. Of course, I'm going to want to bring my paper back over so that I don't have to worry about pieces flying all over. And now, remember, it's best if you go out like this. Did you see how when I did my first punch, I started to just slide it? I was being lazy, and had I just slid it, I would have gripped this, pulled it up into the punch, and I could have gotten it stuck. So it's just really important to remember these little tips. It'll save you some time later from having to unstick it. Okay, so now that that's done, we can pull it off. Now, as I've told you before, I like to build on Fast to Fab pages. This brings me great joy because it's already pretty. Sometimes I like what's already there, and sometimes maybe I want to cover that up. Maybe I don't particularly like that look for this particular page, but I like the rest of the page. So if there's something like that, it's very easy to take your page and tape it down. And then if you're covering something up, just make sure that you line it up so that you cover the whole thing up. And voila. The next thing I did was created the center right here. So I just chose 2 sheets of paper that I like. I did 3/4 of an inch with one, 1/2 inch with the other, and I can create a fun center down the middle of this page. Now my 2 pages match. I cut that at a whole inch. That's what happens whenever you're slicing quickly on camera. 3/4 of an inch was what I was going for. And we're going to tape it down the center. And now I'm going to add my little piece down the middle of that. And voila, I have the matching page. Now all I did at this point was matted my pictures using the technique we talked about yesterday. So if you go back and watch how to make 4 perfect 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 from 1 sheet of cardstock, you can make some mats. I'm going to do matching mats on this matching page. And then I'm going to use, I don't know if you've looked at the Painted Garden collection, but inside of the beautiful embellishments are lots of fun little journaling boxes that you can add to your page. So I'll go ahead and finish that up. And I hope you had a wonderful day and that you learned something today on how to use the Border Maker system. Tomorrow, I'm going to be back with doing something with this wispy. It's a more delicate one that falls off, and I'm going to show you the tricks to making sure that you don't rip it, even when using designer paper. Thanks so much, and have a great day.